Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, how you doing?
We are good. We are good.
Let me say hi quickly.
There you go.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good, likewise, man. Good. So, all those, that big black space, there was all these kits.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow.
It's a lot of offloading, but I'm going to walk you up. I think all the kits are out now. Your aeroplane takes up half of that space.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Those kits over there, and those kits over there, and those kits over there all took up the space.
Wow.
They're all very well screwed in and everything. It's quite a thing.
Oh, they secured him in.
There's the
They're
fuselage.
brutally cutting up all the wood. But that's your baby over there.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh,
I
man,
mean,
that's exciting.
amazing. It is. It's very exciting. I mean, so this they're going to be cutting a bit more wood in that. I don't know if you guys want to get going. Josh is making. There's Josh.
Oh, there he is.
Hi.
Okay. Sweet.
Yep. Josh is doing, good quality footage. You're going to have nice stuff.
Well, we're gonna head that way in the next couple of weeks. We're gonna coordinate with you all and with Mario, and we cannot wait to be back there with you guys. And thank you for showing us that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really exciting to get eyes on it. Like that's the actual plane. That's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes, that's great, man. We'll send you some more stuff when it's all out.
Perfect.
Oh my
Sounds
gosh.
great, Jean.
Take care, man.
All right,
Thank you
thanks
for
so much.
everything.
Speak soon. Stay
We'll-
flying.
We'll see you, Jean.
Bye.
Okay. Cheers. Bye.
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 Oh my god. I had a little tear in my eye.
To see that's the actual plane. That's the actual plane sandwiched in the jigs in the crate there. That's gonna be the new plane. That's awesome.
Promise me you'll come with me when I go. Stay with me. Take my hand, I won't let go. I know everything's lighting up. Ooh, the sun burns so much brighter now. And the warm light glows like fire now.
Chelsea and I have been relatively quiet on social media lately, and with so much happening and changing right now, I really haven't had time to sit down and edit all of the recent content I've captured. I have a lot of footage in the backlog, including some VR private pilot content for Cockpit Club, as well as some hard IFR flights in 991 that will be edited for the channel right here on Aviation 101. All of those videos will be edited and released in the mix in the coming weeks. But with getting the call from Jean that our Sling TSi kit has arrived at the build center from South Africa, and given how jam-packed our summer is about to be with other travel, Chelsea and I made the decision to book a rental apartment, pack some bags, secure our house, and make the 2,000-mile road trip to California to spend 6 weeks working on this Sling TSi build. Of course, that's way more time than Sling's Build Assist program requires. But we're young and boundless. We've built our careers to be remote, and we love the West Coast. So, we packed the puppy and hit the highway. But first, there are two very special people we're gonna stop and visit along the way in Estes Park, Colorado.
Everything's lighting up. Oh, the sun and moon burn so much brighter now. And the warm light glows like fire.
We made it.
Made it. We're in the right place because he has a Texas Longhorn sticker on the back of his car.
This is Larry and Diana, and they're the grandparents of one of my closest friends from high school, Dom. We're stopping to see them on our journey west, not only because they are two of the nicest people on earth and it's been way too long since we've seen them, but also because right here in Larry's garage back in 2013, this was the first place in which I was ever exposed to an experimental kit-built airplane. And that same summer in 2013, Larry and Diana took Dom and I to our first EAA air venture. And that is where everything for me forever changed. This is Larry's shop, where he pretty much built the entire RV-7A that my friend Dom and I were here basically when he started the project. And the airplane's about to fly, but this is his old school vending machine that he keeps quarters on top of, and all this Mexican beer. So we're gonna grab one.
Log from day one. So that's where it all started. January 7th, 2013.
The first thing was new tool cabinet and chest assembled, and all the tools organized.
Yep.
That's step one.
That's out at the hangar now.
Gosh, so how many hours do you have in the plane?
I think I crossed 4,000.
4,000.
This year.
Wow.
So I'm above 4,000, but I don't remember exactly what. Summer 13.
2013, yeah.
Yeah, you and Dom drove up.
Dom and I drove up in my Ford Ranger from Austin,
That's
Texas
right,
to
that
here.
little bitty Ford Ranger.
The little
I
blue
remember
Ford
it.
Ranger. I didn't know anything about experimental aviation or kit-built planes, but he had told me that my grandfather's building a plane. And I was like, what does that mean?
Gotta go.
Well, yeah. And I had always heard about Oshkosh, and then you guys said y'all were going to Oshkosh, and we came up with this idea, and you guys invited us up here to do that. So we drove up here, and when we got here, I think, I'm trying to remember what it was. There was some piece of your kit that your trailer was parked right here by the garage.
It had to be the wing.
Because you already had the empennage.
Still in the crates, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, had to be, because the empennage was just in pieces.
And I remember it was big, whatever we pulled
Yeah,
out.
it would have been, the spark crate is 15 feet long.
Yeah, yeah. So we got here after that drive, and I think it was even my first time to Colorado. And all these new
Yeah,
things.
it's overwhelming.
And we were still in high school, Dom and I, and helped you unbox that. And you started to show us the work that you had done on the empennage so far. And it was bizarre for me. It's such a new experience seeing this tail of an airplane coming together in your garage. And that was my intro to the world of experimental kit building.
Cool.
It was right here, standing right here on this slab in this garage. After that, we drove to Oshkosh, and that was my first Oshkosh.
I remember Josh and Dom walking into the gate at Oshkosh, and I remember this to this day. There was a kid, maybe 13 years old, working the gate.
Handing out programs.
Handing out programs, yeah. And we were probably 50 feet away. And the kid looks up and he goes, "Mr. Aviation 101, Mr. Aviation 101. And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? He knew Josh from, I guess, your very first YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Because you had just
I'd only been
kicked
doing
off
it for a
that.
couple of years.
Yeah. And this kid I thought he was going to ask you for your autograph.
And then Dom and I headed back home after that.
Yeah,
but I haven't
that was a
I haven't
fun
missed an
trip.
Oshkosh since because of that first impression that you guys gave me
That's
for
cool.
that. You've missed a couple Oshkoshes though.
Well, the first few Oshkoshes I went to, I think I went to 2, maybe 3, are just information overload.
Right.
You're attending every class you can possibly, you're just like a sponge. And
You're
trying
actively
to-
building.
Yeah, it's important at that point.
Yeah.
So I attended everything that was relevant to my build, I guess, if you want to call it that. And after absorbing all of that and buying more stuff than I probably needed, there really didn't seem to be much value other than attending the air show in itself. So I started missing them, and now I'm kind of wanting to go back and experience it from the other side. I've got an airplane I built quite literally by my own 2 hands.
And it's almost ready to fly.
16,000 plus rivets. I've either driven or I've bucked every single one of them. So now I'm on the other side of the spectrum, and I'd kind of like to see what that looks like.
And rock your wings on the way into Oshkosh.
Yeah,
in
and
your own plane.
probably buy more stuff that I donated.
Probably, but yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
It was like that summer was kind of changed my perspective of general aviation.
Yeah.
Because I had just gotten my private pilot certificate that year.
Ah, yes, I remember.
I was a fresh private pilot.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I had it in my head, I want to build an airplane at some point. I want to do this
Same
at
here.
some point.
Same here.
Through.
You look on the floor, you can see where the wing jig used to be.
Oh yeah.
I just plugged those holes with epoxy, so it kind of brings closure to that whole wing kind of a thing. It is Van's RV-7A. It's a slider, nose A model, nose wheel. It's got an IO 360 M1B Lycoming, fuel injected horizontal induction. Very, very standard 7A built.
What's your most fond memory? And all the time that you spent right here in the garage.
Fond memory, wow. I think the most fond memory was watching the airplane actually go onto the tow truck and go down the road. It was also scary.
That's scary, very scary. It's an
But the tow truck driver was, he was so excited.
right.
And he treated it like his child.
Yeah. Your garage is
Yeah,
empty.
it's
You've filled the
empty.
jig holes on the floor.
Yeah.
So where's the plane now? What are you doing to it next?
The airplane is at Fort Collins, Northern Colorado Regional, technically. She's completely ready to get her airworthiness certificate. My last steps are fuel testing, fuel flow testing, first engine start, and then I can request the DAR to come out and do the airworthiness certificate.
We stayed the night at their beautiful Larson Lodge and was back on the road to push west to visit another friend and aircraft builder.
Trader Joe's run in Boulder, Colorado.
Hi, puppy. Hello. We got you some snacks too.
We pushed into the evening, and Millie fell asleep on Chels for the rest of the drive to beautiful St. George, Utah. After a rest at a hotel, we met up with another builder who's also almost ready to fly their masterpiece. And you might recognize this guy.
Without an engine on, it's not even funny. Like it, honestly, if I start putting any pressure on this, it'll just like totally go over. Yeah,
Man, I love the topo lines.
it turned out I'm so happy with I was worried about the risk of doing flat and then transitioning into the glossy, but I'm so happy with how it turned out. Also, I did that because the bottom of my plane is just going to get covered in gunk, and so I made sure every leading edge and all the bottom is all the gloss, so I can actually clean it and wipe it off. And it turned out freaking cool. I'm pretty happy with it.
2-1 whiskey whiskey.
2-1 whiskey. So 2021 was the year Wereworthy was founded, and then whiskey for Wereworthy.
I love it.
So yeah, it's you can get the full walk around. It's it's a little snug in here. Yeah. Everything's run. So yeah, all the wiring, everything was done. This is like what I was rushing to get done before I got the plane ready for paint. Like it was like a 2-week. I put probably 150 hours in this plane in 2 weeks. Yeah, it's a lot more spacious in here when the wings are on because then you can actually walk around. But
Honestly, I have never, I don't think, been up close to one of these planes. But this is a lot bigger than I thought it would be.
It's
like by far.
Most people think of the 701 when they think of Zenith. It's a very small airplane.
And
this
is
is
there
not
one of
that.
those
No, there's one right over here on the
Okay.
ramp. We'll go look at that, and then you'll be like, oh, that's why people think these are little. No, this is a big plane. I mean, my empty weight I'm fearful it'll probably be about 1,250 pounds. It's going to be a little bit, they're usually around 1,100, but I'm going to be much heavier. So I've got drilled straight down through here. You'll see the 4-point harness. So yeah, I'll have those. In fact, I should throw a seat in so you can see it with the seat. I haven't even seen it with the seat on the paint job yet, so hopefully it looks good. You guys are going to see something I haven't even seen yet. Yeah, I mean, it's going to look pretty incredible. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I've got to bolt it all in, but these are probably my favorite part of everything.
And the color is like so rich and vibrant.
Pops. I'm actually really glad. I was going to do a gold streak. I'm really glad I went with the copper. The panel, funny enough, Extra Aircraft was like, we want to be involved with your build. I'm like, okay.
Like extra
Aircraft, like
extra 300.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Marcus, their marketing guy, Matchig, reached out to me, and he's like, hey, because I had written them, I don't know, a year or two ago, because they posted about one of their panels had this beautiful forged carbon fiber, and I was like, where do you guys get your carbon fiber? And they're like, we make it. And I was like, you want to make me one? And so they're like, yeah. So my whole panel is going to be made by Extra Aircraft. They're going to make a forged carbon fiber. I'll have to show you it. It's beautiful. Just matches, again, just the ridiculousness of this airplane. So it'll be a whole forged carbon fiber panel, and they may actually help me develop a new front cowling, carbon fiber cowling for it too. As we bought the Rands, I just saw the things that I was like, oh, they put a lot of attention to detail in this or that, but I just noticed that it was attention to detail of things that they wanted, and I was like, man, what would it be like if I can do it myself? Everybody wants to see this portion of aviation succeed, and in my opinion, like, experimental aviation is the future of general aviation.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's just so much more affordable. It's exciting. The safety factor is becoming more and more, closer and closer every day, to the point where I almost think that there will be a surpassing.
I do too.
Where you see all of this new equipment coming into these experimental aircraft that the certified aircraft are like, oh man, it'd be nice to have this new thing, but then we got to recertify our aircraft, and it's just so expensive.
And those people have started integrating stuff from the automotive world. And all of their different backgrounds, and there's such like a big network and communication now that is surrounding EAA and experimental aircraft that it's really cool.
The fact that I can build a plane for, $100,000 to $200,000 as opposed to buy one for $8 to $9 to $1.4 million for a SR-22 G7. The average fleet age is what now? Over 50 at least.
So these are all vintage aircraft at this point.
One of the things I want to do on so the tail, this is what makes Zenith iconic, is it goes so up. Like when the plane's got the engine on it, the reason it can get so much angle of attack is because the tail goes up. You essentially just like pull back, and the tail just goes down, and all of a sudden it's like you're pointed into the sky. That's why they can take off so short. The worst day of this build was like the third day of this build. Even Rex knows it. So I threw away about half my airplane when I got it. We were trying to be really efficient. We had brought the truck in, we unloaded everything, and I think Zenith also learned a little bit from this. The bottom of my box was not marked. Didn't say, don't throw this away. There's literally the entire airplane worth of skins under this. So I'm pulling everything out, and we're like, okay, the box is, out. Let's get it. And then my dad he's also very efficient. He's like, okay, we got everything unloaded. Let's get it in the truck. I'll go take it to the dump immediately. And so I'm thinking I have all my parts. I've got everything out, and I'm starting to do the organization process. And then I don't know, a week later, I've gone through the full organization, and I'm like writing an email to Zenith. I'm like, hey guys, I'm missing quite a few parts. And I put out this list, and Zenith gets back to me, and then that's the most by far anybody has ever missed. Like, are you sure? Can you check the box again? And I'm like, oh, and then I realized, and my heart started to sink, because they were like, did you get the skins from the bottom of the box? And I'm like, no. And so my dad was like, oh, I took it to he has this dumpster next to his a warehouse that they own, and he's like, it might still be there, but we'd had a bunch of rain and all this other stuff. It had been a week, and I go out there, and that morning the dump truck had grabbed it and it was gone. And I just remember driving back to the airport just so defeated. I was like, man, I haven't even started this dang thing, and I've already failed. It was such a rough start, but Zenith was so freaking gracious about it. They took responsibility for the part that was their fault. It was definitely just as much my fault. So they covered the cost of the parts. I just had to pay to get them here. It was, it gave me so much faith in that company But I was like, man. And now every time I go to the actual factory, I see every box has, don't remove, remove the bottom of this. There's skins under here. And I'm like, so I take a picture of it every year and everybody laughs at me because I'm the guy who, there's a reason why that's on every single box now.
You're the reason for the safety meeting.
Yep, I'm the reason for the safety meeting. So luckily got that all taken care of, and I started off on the wrong foot. The rest of the build has been just awesome. Honestly, every milestone is just such an endorphin rush, and I'm sure the first flight will be too, but like getting it on the gear for the first time and seeing your baby stand up, putting all 4 walls on the fuselage, connecting the fuselage together. The first time I put the wings on, it's just like, I almost get like teary-eyed. And then for me, it was like, I literally had no help. It was just figure it out. And sometimes I make a mistake and I have to spend $1,000 getting a new piece shipped. And that stuff happens. So when you see the big wins, it's like, I did this.
It's really inspiring to see other builders following their dream to build their own plane, and other content creators capturing and sharing these experiences with the world of aviation. It's a great feeling to be joining this builders community, and these 2 stops in Colorado and Utah served as a perfect hype for us for the weeks to come. We have 7 hours of driving to go, and then it's time to start on our own build.
Entry where the kit showed up. We've arrived.
I wonder if there are slings sitting over there right now.
Oh, I guarantee it. About 8 months ago, we were driving into Torrance from LA in our rental car to go test fly the 2 slings for the first time, and I was nervous as hell. It was like a big step. And then here we are in early April. We drove all the way out here to California, and we're heading right back to Sling Pilot Academy to start the build on the airplane that we decided. Pretty cool. I was thinking about that this morning. This is a big deal, big step, and today's a big day.
Welcome to the Build Assist Center known as the Airplane Factory, located at Zamperini Field in Torrance, California, right next to Sling Pilot Academy. All right, we're about to get started on week 1 of the work on our Sling TSi Build here at the Build Assist program at the Airplane Factory and Sling Pilot Academy. Right here across the little taxiway in between the hangars here is Sling Pilot Academy in Torrance, California. They've got a couple locations, one of which they just opened in Long Beach, California. Truly, this is how I feel like a flight school should be. It's an amazing community. Like I see students and CFIs just hanging out. Some of them are doing ground school, some of them are taking a break between flights. It's like a college student center. It just feels energetic and excited about flying. So if you're looking at pursuing a career in aviation, look no further than Sling Pilot Academy. And if you use referral code Aviation101 on your enrollment form or your scholarship application, you'll get $1,000 off your entire pilot course, whether it's the 6-month or the 9 months. 6 months if you're starting with your private pilot certificate already in hand, or 9 months if you're starting with 0 flight time. Fill out the enrollment form or the scholarship application. Use referral code Aviation101 for $1,000 off your entire course right here at Sling Pilot Academy. Let's start working on the Sling TSi. Across the taxiway from Sling Pilot Academy is the Build Assist Center, which is where we'll be spending pretty much all of our time in the next 6 weeks. This is Bill Cloud, and he'll be our build mentor to guide us through pretty much everything. He's been here at the Airplane Factory for 5 years. He's a military veteran, a red-blooded American. He's worked on countless types of aircraft and vehicles through his career as a mechanic and builder, and now he's here to lead Sling builders just like us through the beginning stages of Sling's Build Assist program. He's a fun dude to work with, and we're both super excited to build this airplane in lockstep with his expertise.
Basically like a dovetail mount right here. The dovetail mount.
As soon as we arrived, we hashed out the build plan with the team so we could get a good understanding of the steps to follow. Of course, this plane is going to be custom tailored for filming, and now that I know just how closed up the wings already are coming from Africa, the first thing I wanted to sort out is camera mount placement and power. Decisions were made, I've ordered parts, and we'll cover the installation of my camera setups in a later video. This is day one of our first week building this Sling TSi. And we're gonna assemble and mount both left and right hand flaps before the end of the day.
What we're gonna be doing is towards the back, because a lot of this is for home builders if you're building from the ground up, and we're not even gonna do that. So what I normally do is break all sharp edges that we can, because a lot of this stuff is stamped out in stock. And it's just a common practice, standard practice, you know what I mean? So all the shrink wrap's off. No, that's why, see,
Okay.
so I just marked the rib number and right or left hand, and I do that to all these. So, and I've got these marked as right and left hand skins. The elevator's really tricky because even though the ribs look the same, their lengths are shorter, they're made for different things. You'll see, that's a little time consuming, but we'll get through it. The flaps are more cut and dry, ailerons are pretty cut and dry. So we've got to, first off, get all our parts sorted out. When you see the fasteners, 3.2 by 8 millimeter aluminum steel dome head rivets. 3.2 is just another word for 1/8 inch rivet or number 30 drill bit. I'm an American kid, so I like fractions, you know what I'm saying? So I'll take you through all that stuff. You guys will have it. We're gonna be doing a lot of popping rivets, I'll tell you that right now. And we're gonna do a lot of writing on your parts too for the dimpling. Perfect. So these are just gonna be straight button head rivets. We're gonna dimple these because we were having a problem. This used to be all button head. Well, when they cycle, they're hitting these upset heads here. And that went on for a while. And once again, you're talking paint being needlessly taken off and redone, you know what I mean? So let's go 4, 4, and this is 5, right? Okay, so we got these marked out. So let's find rib number 1. Okay, here's rib 1, left and right hand. Okay, so let's get those lined, because I think it's all the way 1 through 10. So if we keep them all together, so we'll find number 2. Yeah, that's gonna be coming on later. So once we get these dimpled, everything's dimpled, we have to put together our next step. Once we get there, we'll be putting your hinge brackets on some of these ribs. So that's where this comes in. Da-da-da-da, it's like that. So, but it's easier if we dimple them first, because with all this crap built up, I'd rather not walk backwards, you know what I mean? So, okay, so here's your exploded view. So single and double digit circled numbers usually refer to your part number. So for instance, number 1, you come over here, item number 1, flap rib 10, and so on and so forth. Number 16, flap skin, which is what you see right here. It points right to it. Usually your triple digit numbers, that's all your hardware, your rivets, sometimes bolts, things like that. So because I don't want to keep flipping back and forth, I just kind of do it preliminary. So those are your rib numbers, and that's why I have them lined up. Perfect. Just like we have it there, and just follow where they're pointing. It's pretty accurate. What I normally do, let me get another pen, is I'll just make it simple. Like for rib number 1, I'll just grab one. So they want you to skip one, so you skip the front one, and I just put a notch. 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth down the line. Then we get the dimpler set up. These can be done with a rivet squeeze, a C squeeze, but we have a dimpler down there with the paper towels hanging out because we're going to need to do this skin. So that's one person can do it. One person's going to need to hold the end so it's not. So if you guys want to get started on that, I'm going to go ahead and skip the first one and then do 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Yeah. And just be careful because some of these, like these smaller ones, you don't skip. You're still doing 4. When you grab one of the smaller ones, make sure that it corresponds with it. Okay, let me get some dimple dies, and I guess we can start with the skins first. I can lay them off to the side so we have room to. Let me get some dimplers. Okay, we look good. Okay, I don't know if we have some more. You guys got to be really careful because this stuff is so thin. It's really super sharp too. I have a pair of gloves. Let me see if I can go find another pair of gloves for one of you guys. These are large. Chelsea, will these fit your hands? These are mediums. These are like heavy leather. And
I'm used to working with bigger gloves.
Okay.
Whatever man gloves are in the
Catcher's mitts, first baseman's gloves. Okay, I'll put this over here. We don't need that here. Okay, so you have a male and a female end. So you just want to kind of line the hole up. Press down, and it's spring loaded. Even though you think you're stop, you want to give it that extra little squeeze.
Perfect.
And you got a dimple. You want to try it?
Yeah.
I'll guide you. Go ahead. Very slowly line it up. You good? Okay, now keep it going to that spring. There you go. Perfect. That's just what you want to feel when you're doing that. There you go. Whoop. Yeah, you know what I normally do? I wrap tape around that top because it does that. Hold on. Yeah, and just bend it. If you need to bend it to get around that bottom part. Yeah, and you can also kind of tilt the skin up a little bit. We're probably gonna leave a little indentation as we go into that radius, but there's not much we can do about it. Okay, and then we just move on down the line. Josh, you wanna go for it? Okay, I'll guide you, and then make sure you line that up. Okay, go ahead and press. Perfect, that's exactly what you want to feel right there.
When I first was exposed to kit building, my best friend in high school, his grandfather, ordered an RB7A kit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he had us assemble the Vans toolbox kit.
I'm not familiar with Vans very much.
Okay, so Vans has I forget how much they are. That's got a little bit of angle on it.
It's okay. We can, if anything, it's flexible. That's one nice thing about working with the materials. It'll flex. But yeah, go ahead, just do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Vans has they have a kit that's a toolbox, and basically it forces you to exercise all the skills and tooling that you'll need for the entire airplane.
Right.
And you just build this little cheesy toolbox out of aluminum.
Oh, you build the toolbox.
Yeah, you build it.
Using the methods that you're using to build the aircraft.
Exactly.
Oh, gotcha.
It's like a trial run for all of your tools.
So in case you mess up, you're only doing it on a toolbox and not
Right.
an aircraft.
So you build your toolbox and then you build.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It's kind of like ceremonial.
So we were in his garage using a pneumatic dimpler.
Yeah, they make them to where you can. They have pneumatic ones and ones you can actually fit on a drill motor, which I haven't tried. They look kind of sketchy to me, but. Yeah, if you need to bend that bottom piece to get around, that's okay. I mean, as long as you don't crease it, you know what I mean? But.
Yeah.
All right, one down. Okay, I'm gonna park this over
Got
here.
it. All right.
Okay, so just watch for your marks. Squeeze away. I find it easy to put this like kind of against your belt line and then just use this, kind of crank down on it.
Perfect.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Nothing like having the right tools for the job.
Yeah, it helps. I mean, I feel for a lot of the home builders because they end up buying a lot of tools they'll never use again. All right, victory. All right, so I'm gonna set that one over there.
Okay.
We've got to prep up. As soon as Chelsea, you wanna trade off, Chelsea?
Yeah.
As soon as you guys do that, we'll start putting the hinges on and making little sub-assemblies.
And just go until the metal stops, huh?
Yeah, once those dies touch each other, that's it.
Looks beautiful.
Okay, so flap rib number 2. Right hand, just the way you see it right there. Put that on the bottom. Mirror image, going the opposite way. Going like that. And going like that. And when we're doing long runs of rivets, I always try to do every other hole with a cleco, but it's not necessary for this. I'll just put maybe 4 just to hold it down. I'll show you what I mean when we go to put the skin on, because those are long fastener runs there. Okay, so once we get them clecoed up, we'll run and drill through the holes, clean them out, because that's another thing with pre-piloted, that you'll never exactly line up. I had a home builder who gave up. I came in for build assist, and he's watching me clean the holes out with a drill. He goes, "Why are you doing that? I didn't have to do that on my rudder." And I go, "That's why your rudder's going like this on the trailing edge," because he was actually twisting it till the holes lined up and putting rivets. I go, "No, bro, you don't do it like that."
Yeah. Just clean them out.
Yeah. Yeah, let's try that. Something like this. One in every corner, just so we can hold it, because sometimes these will shift.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then on this one where you said,
Okay, so we can Cleco, leave these 3 open because we got to shoot those because we can't get to it when that's hanging over that
so
like
just
that.
leave that off for now.
Yeah, so we'll just
Okay.
set that aside and do a 4-corner if you want. Do
Yeah,
1, 2, 3,
perfect.
4, or well, these 4 corners and leave those open. This is called a welding bit, or if you go to Home Depot, they call it a countersink. But
Yeah.
and just kind of get both sides as best you can.
Okay.
Because we want the best metal-to-metal contact we can. The sharp edges mean high spots. High spots means you're going to sound like a tambourine eventually going down the runway. You know what I mean? So. You just drill and then go back deburr and then feed fasteners. Okay, so we're gonna just do the 3 initially right here. And just start feeding the rest of them, every open hole you see. Sumaki makes it. And they use metric measurements on their heads. We gotta be careful to use the appropriate tip on this. Because this is made for these giant mandrels here. If we try to shoot a small rib, it's gonna suck part of your fastener up and you're gonna have all these high spots. I mean, part of the paint process is him using a lot of sandpaper, so it'll go down, but why do it wrong? You know what I mean? So this is set up for 4.8, and it's got a nice little vacuum system, so you don't have parts of rivets all over the floor. Just pull that up, vacuum comes on, put it down over the rivet. Sometimes you got to give it a couple of squeezes. And it shoots all your pigtails back here.
Perfect.
There you go.
a different coating on them?
Oh, that's
Or a different alloy?
no, that's Aladyne. That's a conversion coating, just like you see on here.
Okay, it's
It's
just
a corrosion
Aladyne.
preventative compound.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are 10s.
These 2 are done right here.
I think these are 10s. Okay, you're good. And then we'll take those last 4 clecos out of both of those and finish up that, and then we'll be ready to throw some skin on.
Great.
15 length rivets and fire away. Okay, so we got the right hand side, left hand side, and it's pretty much in numerical order as far as the rib numbers and everything, you know what I
Okay.
mean?
Let me see. I think I got it now.
You got it? Want me to hold that up there?
Got plenty of Clecos over there.
Yeah. You have to dimple that so they rest nice and flush inside each other. That's the case for dimpling. Okay, so let's flip these bad boys over. Yeah, so the same thing, trailing edge to leading edge.
Perfect.
And don't worry about these, the ones we dimpled are gonna come out to a larger size rivet. The 30 Clecos that we're using should fit. If they pop out a little bit, just give them a little twist and do every other one, because then we're gonna have to take those out to the size they're supposed to be.
Okay.
Okay?
What do Cleco does?
Do Cleco it.
Okay.
And once you get those, go ahead and do the leading edge, same thing, every other one, working from the center out.
Cool.
And then, well, when I get back, I'll
And trailing edge to leading edge.
trailing edge, follow that contour, exactly.
I did not think that we were gonna get, albeit secondary control surfaces, but control surfaces done almost by lunch on the first day.
We knew that today we were kind of given the option. We could work on the wings or we could work on the empennage. And that was what we were told when we got here too. Like the empennage kit is right here behind the camera. It's in crates, it's small crates. Then the one big crate
is what all of this was in. It's the wing kit, which means it's the flaps, it's the ailerons, and I actually see the composite wing tips in there too. And we opted to go for the wings. They said that's a better option anyways to get, so that we can complete this and get the big crate out of here. And then
And I think that this is a really good place to start with the build.
it's not super complex and it's a lot of repetition.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with Clecos, they're these little plier actuated, spring loaded, heavy spring loaded. They're these little devices that you squeeze with these special pliers, and as you squeeze them out, these little claws come out and they come together, and then as you let it go, they spread apart and retract. And that's how it actually squeezes the metal. Mini Clecos going in to hold the whole thing together. She's working on the leading edge holes right now, putting a Cleco in every other hole to hold the place of where a rivet will eventually go. And then these are the upper skins of the flaps for the Sling TSi. I just finished up this one, including all the leading edge Clecos. This one is almost done. We're making progress today. Oh, yeah.
All right, so we're ready to cruise the chapter.
Sweet.
Where are those things at?
Start dropping them in, I guess.
Yeah,
Do you want me
so
to
we
take a
mastered-
handful?
Let's take handfuls.
too. That was just overflowing.
Right. It's really cool.
Oh my God.
Okay, so the same thing like we did with the Clecos, trailing edge to leading edge, start in the middle and work this way.
Oh, I forgot one. Josh can go first.
That's teamwork.
Feeling good. Every mechanic has a bucket or a bin or a drawer in their toolbox with junk hardware. Just for this.
Yeah. AN4-6 are the links we're going to use. So you can see AN4, you put the head of the bolt there. Where it ends is 6, so we have a proper length right there.
You know, today as a recap was kind of the intro and the starting point to completing this quick build kit. We got 2 flaps done today. So our secondary control surfaces, the flaps, there was a lot of metal work that went into it. We had to go through and deburr all of the material, drill and make sure that everything was ready to go on the ribs, on the brackets, the control brackets, all of the arms, and then we went through and cleaned everything up, used so many Clecos. I think my Popeye forearm is gonna be starting to show at the end of this build. Working with Bill today was just fantastic. It already looks like an airplane, but it is just grabbing all of the pieces that are coming together, and starting that assembly has been a perfect first day.
The flaps are what we worked on the entire day, and here they are, right here on the wings. They're hinged, they're moving, they look great, they look awesome. Really, really awesome to have the guidance of Bill, somebody who has built so many of these things before, and just to guide us through, like, obviously tool use and just the basics there on his specific tools that he likes to use for this stuff, and then also just methods and little techniques and ways to get this done in an efficient way. You know, we talked about doing the build at home, and I think we would have been happy doing that too, but it would have been taken so much more time. And doing it here at the airplane factory with the Build Assist program and Bill just guiding us through every single step really makes it takes a load off our mind, and it makes it super comfy and easy. Certainly, I think the most satisfying part of the day was hearing that first pop of the rivet puller, the pneumatic rivet puller, and then just driving so many more rivets on the flaps. Right here are the ailerons and the wingtips. That's what we're gonna be taking care of tomorrow. And then in these little crates right here, that is the empennage kit for the airplane. So that's what we're gonna be tackling kind of after that. But yeah, wingtips and everything are right here. Skins for the ailerons are right there. And then this is the, let's see, this is the pilot side wing. This is the left wing of the airplane. And here is the flap. Just like on the co-pilot wing too, it's all hinged, it's in place, and have the actuator in there and everything that will get hooked up later. And of course, hardware will be finalized and hooked up to a more permanent degree later, but they are on, they're in place, and they look great. We're gonna head back to the house and dump all this footage, sort of mentally regroup and get ready for tomorrow, which is gonna be back here at 9 a.m. starting on the ailerons. Great day of progress here at the airplane factory at Sling USA in Torrance, California. Chelsea is hanging back at the house today to get some other stuff done. So I'm on my own, driving into the airport right now. Had a meeting this morning about the avionics and the panel arrangement and everything. That went a little bit long, so it is currently 9:35 a.m. I'm gonna go park where we did yesterday. I'm gonna meet with Bill at the hangar. I think we're gonna start working on the ailerons today. There's the TSi right there. And right next to it, one of the Sling Pilot Academy, Sling NGTs. It's a beautiful day in Southern California. Okay, made it to the hangar. Touched base with Bill. I'm running a little bit behind this morning, but that's cool. He actually went ahead and got a head start on dimpling the aileron ribs, and it looks like he's got some of the hinges clecoed on, and he's already making a little bit of progress. So putting this stuff together, very much a similar process to what it was yesterday. It's gonna be a lot of drilling out, a lot of deburring, and then we're gonna move on to, after that, actually riveting everything together with the help of a lot of clecos. Looks like he already dimpled all of these ribs right here. So the holes, if you can kind of see it, the holes have nice dimples in them, and that's gonna be for, this is kind of the same concept as the flaps, what we did on the flaps over here, and I'll try to kind of move it here. You can see the rivets that kind of disappear behind the skin of the wing. Those are flush rivets so that they don't rub or don't kind of grind on the skin of the wing as they retract. So that's gonna be the same thing on the ailerons right there. The skin is gonna be dimpled too. It may, actually I see the skins right over here. These are the aileron skins. I can see he already dimpled those as well. So yeah, it's gonna be drilling, deburring, and riveting is probably the next step on all of the hinges right here on the ailerons. Today, not only are we gonna work on the ailerons, but we'll also start work on the wingtips. The wingtips come from Sling South Africa as 2 solid composite pieces, one for each wing. It's our job to trim and fit these wingtips onto the ends of the wings after the ailerons and flaps are in place. That includes drilling all of the holes for the rivets and mounting holes for the LED lights. More on that later. For now, back to the ailerons.
Cool. All right, so now what we'll do is just swing this arm over, maybe put like 2 clecos here, and the same thing with this other one, and we'll do that. All right, so
Sweet.
let's make sure these are still nice and loose.
Yeah, this one.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, perfect.
So these are ready to go with
Yeah, and I
this
have them in
mandrel.
this little, they give you exactly 4 for that job. So.
Okay. So don't screw it up.
And these are called anchor nuts. They're kind of blind threaded fasteners, and that's where your bolt gets fastened into.
Okay.
You see here?
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, so that's how that whole thing works there. All right. These eye bolts that come from the the factory. They're made by an outside vendor, but so if it moves, grease it. Sometimes they have a grease fitting sticking off to the side. You use a grease gun and fill the inside with oil.
Yeah.
But these don't, so I usually just have my little grease thing and brush it on as much as you can.
Just like roll it around and brush
Yeah,
it. Okay.
exactly. It should be greased. And on AN4 bolts, the torque range is between 50 and 70 inch-pounds.
Okay.
I like to go nominal or midway, so I usually do them all at 60.
Yeah.
And adjustable handle torque wrench or click style torque wrench, basically pull the ring down and you have your measurements on your handle and just get it to where you want to go.
Read the graduations.
Yeah. So I'm at 0 and you see the 60 right there.
Right on 60. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you used these before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm marrying an AMP, man.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay, you can do the honors. Yeah, just kind of hold it down while you're doing it
Okay.
the best you can.
All right, that was a click.
Yeah, as long as it clicks, you're good. Yep.
And then I guess it has a possibility of twisting. It looks like it.
Yeah, it stays pretty flat. Once we get it clecoed down, they move. Perfect.
All right.
All right, so
60 inch-pounds.
our rib sub-assemblies are done. Now it's time to put this thing together.
Perfect.
Okay, we'll set that up there. Gotta move this over a little bit and get out of the way of the clecos we're gonna be putting in. These balance tubes go right up here, buck up right against the leading edge.
Okay.
So, what I like to do, it's a little bit of a hassle getting the ribs in. Oh, and you'll see there's pilot holes in them.
Okay.
And they match with the pilot holes that
I
you'll see
see.
down.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we want to do,
With this facing up.
what I do is stick a pick in. I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll go on your side and that pilot hole here. There's a pilot hole in the tube.
Yep.
And could you get me a copper cleco?
Yep.
There you go. Perfect. Okay. I just do one end because the only problem we have is where the hinge goes through this slot. And it's got to connect. So we kind of got to move this up and kind of almost give it a slap down so it gets in there.
But that'll hold it right where it needs to be.
Yeah. And once we get that in, the rest of them you can just kind of go in at an angle.
Okay.
I think I put a couple in that seem to go. Sometimes these are like night and day, man. I don't know if the same people are making all working in the same shop. Yeah, that should be pretty good.
Okay.
We're gonna have to clean them out either way, but if they're when you said half a hole, that's a lot, so we got to do something to it. But that should be okay.
I'll cleco that in.
All right. 2, 3, 4, 5. See these rivets here, this plate that we did?
Oh, yeah.
They will ride
they'll
where
try
this
to
bend is. So, and it's our own discretion. Once we tighten it down, we'll just cycle it back and forth with our hand. You'll feel it
See if we need to space it.
And if we have to, we'll just put 2 thicks instead.
Got it.
So gently slide that on and take your wedge out and let that clamp it down for you so you're not chasing washers all over the floor and inside your...
Is this just kind of a thing that varies from kit to kit? Like sometimes it'll rub, sometimes it won't?
Exactly. So we're gonna have to definitely trim. Now see, that's almost perfect.
Yeah.
That one will probably be off.
So you're looking for an even gap.
Yeah, just a pretty even, eyeball an even gap between here and the bottom of this piece.
Yeah.
Does that look good?
That looks good.
Okay.
If anything, the tip of the wing needs
Might
to
go
come
that
toward
way?
me. I mean, just...
Tell me, you're looking at it, tell me.
That's pretty good right there.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff here is
Yeah.
kind of doing the best you can on it, you know what I mean?
That looks great. I mean...
And don't use a lot of pressure, because remember, that's just a strap holding that on it. We don't want it to start rotating on us.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, perfect. That's exactly the way I do it, holding it, just like you're holding it.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, I'm gonna be right above your fingers. I'm not gonna get you.
Okay.
Perfecto, nice job. Okay, I'm gonna go take that strap off now.
Okay.
This should be stable.
All right, got fitment of the wingtips done. Still gonna have to do a little bit of trimming here and there, but they are clecoed in place and they look good. We still gotta take the strap off that one. But wingtips are temporarily clecoed in. Wings are looking great.
CSK for countersink. Those get countersunk. These are domes here, so I don't worry about that. But it'd be a bummer to take it down and just start to go to town and go, oh wow.
Oh no!
Whereas this on the bottom side, for some reason, this is from here all the way down is countersunk. So I just write it on her, so when we take it down, we know to stay out of some and countersink the others, you know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Like see here, this is a pretty even gap right here.
You're talking about
Yeah, the gap between the composite and your aileron. But you come over to this side and it goes, see how it's widening out up top?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I want to try, again, it's appearance only, but I know this is going to ride. This is probably going to, yeah, it looks funky. We're going to have to make that look a little bit better. Okay.
Cool.
Using my 1-inch line as an edge, I'm getting about 0.4, 4/10. I'll try to make both of them the same. See the width of that gap right there?
Yeah.
And this is
much tighter.
Yeah, this is almost riding on top of your hinge.
And it's doing the...
Yeah, and this probably will bang into it, maybe. Yeah, see?
It's rubbing right there, yeah. Okay, we're starting to wrap up for the day. We actually just had to shove all of the wing kits that are in progress right now back into the hangar because a gentleman that has the hanger on the end is pulling his TBM out. So he's about to fire up and taxi through here. Good day of progress. So we finished up the ailerons on both wings. I'm pointing to this wing right here, but our wings are back there in the stack. Finished up the ailerons today, got them mounted, and then got the wing tips fitted, and now there's some trimming that needs to happen to make them fit. Chelsea stayed at home all day working on the computer doing admin stuff. We have so many emails and everything to catch up on. So she was working on that today while I came out here and worked with Bill on the rest of the wing kit and starting on the wing tips. So I'm happy that we're calling it a day here about 3 o'clock. And it's a beautiful afternoon. There's a cool breeze. Chelsea and I are probably gonna go walk the dog and just hang out, go to a park and stuff like that. Have some details to button up like lights, mounting points for cameras and power. I have stuff that I ordered and it's all coming in the next couple of days, so we're gonna be able to sort out all of that too. We're gonna capture it right here on camera, of course. But it was a good day of progress. Today is Thursday, April 10th, and we're calling it a day, 3 p.m. Those Sling 2s are good looking little airplanes too.
Yeah, I'd be really curious to fly one.
Today is more wing stuff. We're done building the flaps and ailerons. The wingtips are mostly drilled and clecoed, but today we're working on LED wingtip light mounts, bell crank assemblies and linkages for the flaps and ailerons, inserting the aileron push-pull tubes, and we'll finish the day off with assembling the inspection panels for the wings, which are actually a pretty cool and unique design. All right, made some decisions on the wingtip lights. So he's drilling the holes right now to get brackets mounted for these. They're the nav, strobe, and position lights that are gonna go right here on the little winglets.
Come right here, they're right here.
Oh yeah. There we go. These are actually for a different kit, but these are the exact same part number that we're gonna be using. So it's nav on the front, and then an anti-collision, which is a strobe right there, and then actually a white position light on the rear. So it's kind of 3 in 1, and then of course you wire them together and they synchronize the strobes.
Very cool. And then on the reference data online, you can print that off and use that as a template, but the best method is to just get the bracket itself, and you just put it on here, line everything up, drill your first hole, make sure it's straight, use the clecos that we are getting so familiar with on this project, cleco it in place, and then use it to drill the rest of your holes, and then you're gonna pop it back off, and there are actually gonna be some riv nuts and Loctite that will live here because there's not enough clearance to put any nut plates. You just cannot actually get into this wingtip. But
Super skinny right there.
Perfect. You went through, okay? Then wedge it out so you get your finder out. Pull your finder out. There you go. And then work your way up. Open it again to find the next one. All kinds of room to get in there. So I think you got maybe 1 or 2 left to go. Put it down on your tool till it stops, and what you want to feel is immediate resistance, barely squeezing it. Next thing you want to do is put some Loctite.
Right where it's gonna pinch.
Yeah, those little
ribs.
That's where they, when it goes to upset like a rivet, they go into the material.
Kind of like splines.
Exact, splines. That was my word I was trying to find. Okay. Put it into your hole. Usually you get a nice full squeeze out of it, like so. Let it go about halfway, and you put the mandrel, screw the mandrel back into the fastener. Sometimes you get another half a squeeze. As long as it lets you squeeze, do it. Okay, so now it's not letting me do it. That's it.
Yeah, okay.
Just unscrew it, and there you have it.
Cool.
All yours.
Sweet. Just a couple drops, right?
Yeah, I usually put a bead, it'll spread out.
Okay. Does that look like a...
Yeah, that's fine, dude. You might have to kind of force it in there a little bit. It's okay. There you go. Okay. Give it a squeeze. Let it about halfway out and then thread it back in there. There you go. Give it another squeeze. And the same process, thread it back in. And you'll feel it when it won't let you squeeze. Okay, give it another okay, once it doesn't want it.
Yeah, that feels
good. You're good. Go ahead and squeeze it. If it's resisting, which it's not, okay, so another halfway out, screw that back in. Okay. Once it doesn't let you do it, stop.
Feels pretty tight.
Okay, that's it. And then unscrew that. You might want to squeeze that just a bit. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Let's go.
And those are just little Allen head.
Yeah, these are M3 countersunk screws, and we have tons of these in the drawer. They don't come with the kit, but we have millions of them. We put them in your light pack once we get your light pack. And I use this as a measurement to drill out your hole to run your wires through. I'm going to keep those up there, make my measurement, make the hole. Okay, start small on fiberglass because your drill will wander, and the smaller you go, it seems for me it doesn't wander as much. Kind of start slow, and if you need to walk it back where you're at, there we go. And also a reminder for people out there at home, you have that much material to work with, do not go uh-oh and go all the way through. It has happened in the past, be very careful. For your final hole size, a lot of times I'll just mark where I want to be so I can see it as I'm drilling, because sometimes it will grab and send you right into it even bigger. So slow speed. There's one step. There's my black line. When that goes in, that is it. And you can also kind of deburr a little bit so we don't go through the other side.
Those things eat quick.
Oh, I know. If you're pushing too hard, they'll take you right into it. Lined up like so. They slide up. Yeah, as long as it clicks up, and then you put your set screw there to keep it in place. If you want to take them off to do whatever, slide them down, and there they go.
Cool.
Okay, we'll try the other one. It's better to find out any uh-ohs when it's not painted, you're not wanting to fly it, so we might as well just do it now. Click up. Yep, click up. Got plenty of meat around it. Plenty of meat around that one.
Looks good.
And see, that the reason they use the silicone is because those rib nuts stick you up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Give it a little seal.
Yeah, and they don't come with any kind of rubber, unless the new ones, maybe that's the change they made, I don't know. All right, success.
Okay, we've encountered our first legit snag. I think I might have put a little too much thread locker on the nut rivets as we were putting them in. So actually some red thread locker got on the threads of the mandrel, and it contaminated or put thread locker on the threads inside the riv nut as it came out. And then when we put the screws in to trial fit everything, now they are locked in there. So he's looking for a little easy out to try and get that one out. Luckily, we know that that stuff is so strong that these rib nuts are never gonna move, hopefully. But could not get these two screws to move, and this one is pretty well seized in there. We were trial fitting these. These are parts from another kit. So he's taken them out to put them back in the kit that they came from. They're going on a different airplane. Ours are gonna be on the way here soon, but they're the same part numbers. That's why we went ahead and fitted everything, but got a little thread locker inside the rib nuts, so that's an issue. Hopefully they're gonna come out with no damage. All right, we have learned.
Got to be careful not to fry the fiberglass. No.
Not wanting to come out.
Look at that. Fell right through.
All right, we took a lunch break and drove back to the house, let the dog out, and made some quick food at the house, which is about 25 minutes away. 25 minutes each way, plus making some food and eating it. That took a little too much time, so I don't think we're gonna do that again. But it looks like Bill has an assembly line set up for us. So these are gonna be the inspection panels for the wings. Just at first glance, I'm assuming that's what those are. And then this is the right-hand bell crank for the aileron assembly in the right-hand wing. And the left one, he probably has it there, but we're gonna, oh yeah, it's right here, but we're gonna grease all these up and everything. And it looks like the man right there has everything ready to go.
Good afternoon, America. So anyway, I'll give you guys a demo on one. It's pretty basic because grease is also a pretty good adhesive when you have to put washers in. And that's that. Would you like to try it? I got you some medium gloves. I found something
Thank you.
fit close to your hand size. Josh, I got you some, these are extra large too, I think. Large or extra, something like that. We got.
Perfect.
Perfect. Wash your nut, hand tight, and put the other one in there. And Josh, you can go for it if you want.
Sure.
And when we install that, there's a washer that goes on both sides of that, and I'm going to pack that with grease. And I think it's.
Just a real thin coating, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, just enough. You just press the washer against it when you put it in with your fingers.
Got it.
So after you put the washers, you want to take this That way it makes
Oh,
sure
make sure
it's
they're centered.
centered.
So that's how
Take
this
that
goes
and
in.
that.
All right, bolt. Which way does the bolt go?
Do we have the,
This is the
remember
outside.
how we marked that?
Yeah.
So we want the bolts face so we can crank it when we get it in the
Got it,
wing,
got
so we
it.
want to go that way.
Okay.
So this is how that goes in. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good.
That's the bell crank that we're doing right here. It's 2 washers on both sides.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? It gets washer on the top, washer on top, washer on the bottom. It slides in that
Gotcha.
bracket and bolt goes through.
Cool. And this is like the final torque. This is, right?
Yeah, then we're gonna go ahead and reinstall it back in the plane.
Do you have torque seal?
I do, but I always do that last because no matter how I do it, how far away I stay from it, I always end up wearing it. So that's all. Once we're done with everything we can do, we're gonna go around and torque all the nuts. That way nobody has to touch anything. I won't be wearing it at home because I swear to God, every time it doesn't, never fails. Oh my God, man. Is that what you're looking for? Yeah. You have to ask Scott. You can take the tray if you want.
So I can show it to them.
Well, tell them how many you need. They're gonna want to know exactly. I always go like 5 or 6 above, but they're gonna want to know. They count these things out.
So we've checked the reference material. These get torqued down between 50 and 70 inch-pounds. But we've set this to 60. We're just gonna make sure. And I like to click it, back it a couple, and then just one more time. And this is a dry torque. And then every time you get done using a torque wrench, you always want to set it back down, not to 0, but to whatever the lowest setting is to relieve the spring pressure in here.
Okay, so Josh, if you want to, you can do the same thing on those 2 end ones on the wings. Do the grease, press the washers in. And usually you don't need to pry those open. For some reason, you can just slip those eye bolts right in there. And,
Okay. And those have 4 washers.
yeah, 4 washers, one under the
these
head.
right here.
And these are the ones that we're going to go through here. So.
Okay. Stick the washers in the grease. Use the pick to kind of center the washers. All right, now we're going to hold the eye bolt into the crank, slip the bolt all the way through. We already have a washer on that side. And then washer and nut on the back. Tighten it down, torque it to 60 inch-pounds. And we are set to 60 inch-pounds. There's a click. There's a click. 60 inch-pounds. That's done.
Pack it again, because it does move. Why not grease it, right?
Your hardware catcher.
Yeah. You guys, it shouldn't be bad because of your tank, but if that stuff drops down in there, it's hard to get hardware, so I put a little padding in there to catch it. Okay.
And you're doing this as opposed to us because you have hazard pay, right?
I think my hands are being numb to being cut all the time because you do a lot of pressure, right against that edge. And it's like, oh.
Razor sharp.
Yeah.
So he's attaching the bell crank right here.
All right. Okay, I'll crank it. Josh, if you want, you and I can install your push rods behind you on that crate.
Okay, cool.
But we're gonna check out the thread pattern first.
So what he's doing right now is he's cleaning out the threads on either end. These are the aileron push-pull tubes that are gonna go in the wings. He's cleaning out the threads so that when the finishing guys put this together and actually tighten this stuff down with these same style of eye bolts, they don't have to deal with any sort of gummed up threads or if one of these rivet tails are in the way or anything like that. So he's running these all the way in and then all the way out to make sure it's clean and there's clearance.
All right.
All the way.
Good to go. If you can just kind of hold it, it might vibrate a bit. I'm trying not to bap your hand.
All right, yeah, it's in the bushing.
There we go.
All right.
And if you want to, I'm just going to slide it down. And once we get to that, oh, I'm hitting something.
You're hitting the pitot wires.
Oh, okay. Can you move me out of the way?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. And go to the next one.
Okay.
We coming through?
Not quite. Keep going. There it is.
Okay. So what you can do, what I usually do is hold the eyeball with this hand and come around with this hand and turn the tube. You know what I'm saying? We'll get it, or I can do it back here.
Yeah.
I will just try to get a couple of threads engaged.
It's threaded, yeah.
Okay. See if we pull it. Okay, good. That's it.
Sweet. Yeah.
That.
Okay.
So that one, you kind of got to get both your hands in that little hole. You don't have that extra hole next to you.
Yeah. All right, it's threaded.
Cool. All right, that's all we need right there. Okay.
So what we just installed were these aileron push-pull tubes right here. They go to the bell crank for the ailerons on both wings. So this comes into the fuselage of the airplane and it's controlled with the control column that's attached to both sticks. So as this pushes in and out, it moves a bell crank that pushes a pole or a tube, push-pull tube up and down that actually moves the aileron back and forth. Of course, it does the opposite on the other side, whatever movement is opposite. So those are installed. They will get removed again, or they won't get totally hooked up until the finishing process. So that's why we only threaded it on just a little bit on both bell cranks. But aileron push-pull control tubes are installed.
We'll deburr them, and then we'll do some dimpling.
Yeah, basically the ones that are not marked.
Okay.
Okay, so here are the inspection panels that we're currently fabricating. I cleaned them up and deburred them. And so Josh just got done dimpling them and they're gonna get riveted together. And it's a really interesting inspection panel concept. Maybe it's been around for a long time. I have never seen it. But the way that it comes off is this little 3D printed tool, and you just stick it in here, give it a turn, and remove it. And so it alleviates the necessity to sit there and twist 6 to 8 screws in and out for every inspection. So if you have a flight school or anything like that, and you're doing 100-hour inspections or every annual, you don't have to sit there and hand crank them out. Chew up any threads. If they get chewed up, then you have to redo nut plates or whatever it is. So I'm really interested to see how this concept holds up. But as of right now, I think it's pretty genius. It does have one riv nut here, which lines up at the bottom. So you just put those in and twist it. And it lines up here, and you do put one screw here into that riv nut. But we are getting ready to complete the entire wing kit. When we're done with these inspection panels, everything will be done minus the wing tips. And we're gonna keep those off just so that we can do final installation of the lights and some power delivery units and stuff like that for filming. But I just wanted to show these off because I've never seen inspection panels like this, and it's really interesting.
We started right in on your wings. I did your fuel tank for you. Sorry, I didn't think you want to be on the floor crawling around, so I went ahead and did that, did your pressure check. That's usually what we do first off with the wing portion. Your ailerons, flaps, working on your wing tips, waiting for your camera equipment to show up, getting ready to button it up. As soon as we do your little access hatches, we're going to go on and move on to the empennage. Getting kind of perturbed when we messed up those rib nuts for your lights, but it turned out okay because sometimes that can be a disaster. Working with that thin material, trying to get those out, but parts are all here, everything's good. I've had a lot of people come in that are running major corporations, don't really do a whole lot of work with their hands. You got to kind of take them along with you, and they're really kind of apprehensive at first, but after a while they're bossing me around and telling me what to do. So, and they've got, the Rosie the Riveters out there, man, show them. Most people are real good. They enjoy what they do, and I don't let anybody just go off on their own and while I go do something else. I'm with you guys until the end. We are going to start on your tail system or your empennage, and we're going to build the whole thing until you have 4 pieces of completed stuff ready for paint that you see over there. Plastic peeling's done, marking parts is done, so we should be able to just do what we did on the wings and take it out and start putting it together.
All right, we are done with week 1 working on our Sling TSi under the Build Assist program here at the Airplane Factory and Sling Pilot Academy right here. Super busy week, but of course we were not doing as much mental work and physical work as Bill. Bill is doing the heavy lifting here, and he's also mentoring us, guiding us through this whole process, showing us the ropes on what needs to be done. Here are the little quirks you need to look for. Super experienced guy, and we're so grateful to be working alongside Bill at this stage of the build. So today we actually had some more tasks left on the wing kits than I had assumed we did. I thought we were like right at the tail end of the wing kits when we finished yesterday. But we actually had several little projects to work on, and we even hit some snags today.
We finished up some of the fit and trim on the composite wingtips. Fit and trim is really interesting. Every single plane that I've replaced plastics on, it does not matter who you order plastics from. We call it plastics. Composite, fiberglass, they're not always absolutely identical. So you do have to put them on, shave a little, refit, retrim, and you just play this back and forth. Take a little off here, take a little off here, always a little, because you can't put that material back. You want to work slow, you want to be meticulous, you want to triple check your work. And then the last thing today was going through and fabricating the inspection panels, which are really interesting. We took count. You can see behind me there are 8 sets of wings. So there are 16 Sling wings right behind me that are going to go on many different aircraft and probably fly all over the US and maybe all over the world. But our set will certainly be loved and used well for many, many, many years to come. So the wings are done, and I'm excited. Next week we're going to start on the empennage, and I think we're going to try to push to get the empennage done next week.
And then that's pretty much it for the wing kit, aside from finalizing the lights once they finally come in. So as far as construction and assembly goes, we're done. It's just gonna be adding aftermarket accessories to the wings, and then we're truly done with the wing kit. It's ready for paint. So on Monday, when Chelsea and I get here, the plan is we're going to start on the empennage kit, which is actually in that crate right there. I don't know if you can see it, the crate that says flowers, it's on top right there. That's our empennage kit. So the empennage is basically the whole rear of the plane. It's what attaches to the very rear tip of the fuselage. It consists of the horizontal stabilizer, the elevators, the vertical stabilizer, and the rudder. So we're gonna have 4 pieces. There's actually, I'll just turn the camera right here. Here are some finished kits. You see there's a stack of 4 here, and there's a stack of 4 up there. They're labeled with names. So that's what ours is gonna end up being, hopefully at the end of next week. Bill was saying that he thinks it's gonna take like 5 days at the most, you know, if we're working real slow or we hit major snags. Probably bang it out in 3 days, getting the empennage kit done, and then we're ready to move on to the fuselage. So we're moving right along, but we're gonna call that a conclusion to week number 1. Entirely working on the wing kits. Day 1 was entirely about flaps, day 2 was about ailerons and wingtips, and today was a bunch of little details coming together. The bell cranks and the flap actuator, the push-pull tubes for the ailerons going in, inspection panels, and then of course we spent a fair bit of time fitting the nut rivets to hold the wingtip LEDs on. So that being said, we're calling it a week. This is the end of week number 1 of building our Sling TSi at the Build Assist Center at the Airplane Factory and Sling Pilot Academy right here in Torrance, California. Don't forget about the $1,000 discount on your full-time pilot training course at Sling Pilot Academy. And they actually do still have slots open for their May start date for both the 6 and 9-month courses, depending on if you're coming in with your private finished or not. When you fill out the enrollment form or the scholarship application, type in the referral code AVIATION101 and you'll get $1,000 off your full-time pilot training course once you enroll. We've now wrapped up week 1 of our Sling TSi Build Assist. And next week will be all about the empennage, which is the whole tail section of the plane. Lots of little sub-assemblies and hundreds of rivets are in our future. Until then, you know the drill. I want you to stay happy and healthy, stay current in your flying, but most importantly, stay proficient. We'll see you in the next build video right here at the Sling Build Assist Center here in Torrance, California. Fly safe.